let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart.
Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 Racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
These late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back. It's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Xfinity Superspeedway Series here on Green White Checkered TV. Sunday night's second race of the season for the mid-2025 series here, and we are very much looking forward to getting this second race of the weekend going. Obviously, ran here on Friday night, so it's a doubleheader for myself, Boomer Logan, and for Brandon Briggs alongside me in the booth. So we'll be covering all the races this weekend. Looking forward to another solid finish here at iRacing Superspeedway after the great racing we had last Friday night, just 2 days ago. So we're definitely early in the season, but still a lot of really great racing left, and um, looks like cars are out on track right now, putting down some qualifying laps. So, hey, Brandon, I know maybe that's something we don't talk about too much is qualifying here, but what's maybe some of the strategies that these guys are trying to look for in trying to put maybe the fastest lap down and try to grab that pole for tonight?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are going to come out here and qualify if they're normally not. And, a lot of guys sometimes like to start in the back and just ride. But here at iRacing Super Speedway, I think a lot of these guys are going to try to get up front. And we know how this track has tricky corners. And the farther you up front, the less chance you have to be caught up in the mess. So spoke to a few drivers before the race, and that's what's on everybody's mind is not being around when that big one happens, and it's definitely known here at iRacing.
Yeah, and there's plenty of tricks that you can kind of work with. I know there's been a lot of different ones over the years. A lot of people say if you run to like keep it under 120, keep the brakes and the tires and the motor cooler until you come around to the front stretch and not go full throttle off of pit road, and or some people will try to, obviously you can't really do that too much here, but like at Talladega or Daytona they'll try to run the apron to cut some of the track off. But yeah, there's a lot of strategy that goes into qualifying, and we've got just over a minute left before that closes. So every driver getting their opportunity for 2 laps to, again, try to win that pole position. And hearing some reports from pit road that we're looking at probably about 18 laps or so of fuel at full send. So we'll see. Obviously, Friday night we had a really great fuel mileage race where we saw quite a few drivers save a lot of fuel and stretched it maybe 2, 3 more laps than what we were really thinking that was there in the capacity for the fuel tanks. So I mean, I guess we have to wait till the see how the cautions fly. But do you think with the slightly longer fuel window that we have here tonight, Brandon, or do you think we're going to see more of that fuel strategy or maybe less?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's going to be more about fuel strategy or just sticking with your teammates. You really, really want to be with somebody you trust. This is one of the most trickiest pit roads to get on and off of. It's really, really easy to slide up and go right over that yellow line and get a penalty. So when you're coming into this pit road and it's a little bit further down the commitment cone to be down to that speed limit, you want the guys around you in the same chat, the same audio. That's what I think is more important than, are we going to go an extra lap? I want to be around the guys where I know I'm safe coming in and exiting with, and we can get right back up to speed compared to maybe saving a lap or trying to maybe go an extra lap. We know there's going to be chaos. We know there's going to be yellows here. So if you do have to pit under green, I would be more just likely just to be around my teammates.
Definitely going to be important, as we always mention, those pit stops and when you come down pit road, and the company that you keep yourself around is going to make a big difference for the race here tonight in these Xfinity Series cars. So with that, you saw the cameras jumping around a little bit. That means that the session jumps forward to gridding and into the race portion of the server, and we are going to bring that grid up now. And run through that starting order for tonight, you see Cody Nagels at number 16 for Nightmare Esports. He is going to grab that pole position for tonight. Gabe Butler for Team Bootnaka Esports is going to be to his outside in that number 88 Chevrolet. Todd Merkel is running in the number 2, as usual, that Ford Mustang for tonight. Eric Laurie in the Chevrolet, sponsored by John Deere, the 071, outside of row number 2. Chris Melton of Roughneck Racing there in the 49. He's going to be in your 5th starting spot. And Dean Wilkinson of TW Motorsports, the Canadian, is outside of row number 3. Everett Lane to the inside of row number 4, and Jack Walls to his outside. Justin Davis is going to be starting in the 9th position in that number 10, and Dude Conrad in the 8 will start 10th. Maxwell Caldwell, making his return to the series for the second week in a row, is going to be here starting in the inside of row number 6, and Joshua Highbaugh in that 101 is going to be to his outside. Anthony Layton's going to be in the 13th starting position, and Hayden Davis will be in the number 19 to his outside. Bill Hales alongside Dale Rapp will share the 8th row of the grid for tonight. 17th, car number 17, Frank Ranger Jr. with Doug Webb in the 714 to his outside. Bob Fitzgerald and Gary Huffines are going to find themselves in the top 20, row 10 of the grid. Mike Allen in the number 13 machine, he's going to be inside of Robert Amaral in the 77. And a couple of Brooks family members, Guy L to the inside of his dad, Jim, starting on row number 12. And we've got one more on the grid, and that's going to be Thomas Holder in the 11, starting out here riding shotgun on the field for tonight. So with that, 25 cars in the field, 75 laps. And we are pacing the field and just about ready to go here, Brandon.
Yeah, we finished last week with 7 new names in the top 10 to start off the season, so something to keep your eye on. It wasn't the common names that we had seen a lot last year. We had some new faces, and they made an impact immediately, and so it's going to be see how those new guys blend in here. A little bit tougher track here. Not saying that it's any easier, with the drivers or anything, but this at Daytona or whatnot. But this track is definitely tricky, as we still see some of the guys. The strategy starting off here right off the rip, it looks like here. I don't think these guys missed the start. This looks like all teammates going to maybe decide to start here from the pit road.
Yeah, you see Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, Eric Laurie, Gary Huffines, and Dude Conrad. Actually, Dude Conrad looks like he may not have actually made the grid, so I believe he may have actually missed the race start. Another one missing out tonight, Bud Steele, already watching and in the comments. Sorry to hear that your internet is down. Would have loved to see that number 6 out there rocking those beautiful navy paint schemes, but nonetheless, we're still going to go racing here. The 16 of Cody Nagels is going to be the control car for the first start of the night. Lap number 1 is underway. Green flag out on iRacing Superspeedway.
Nice, good, smooth start here by these front couple guys. You can see the 55 looked like maybe he was going to try to jump down there to get automatically in line and get all these guys paced out. As you can see there, we got single file immediately, and these guys are going to follow the 16 around as they come off turn 2, and clean so far.
Cody Nagels leading the field with Todd Merkel behind him in the 49 of Chris Melton as well. Single file, as you mentioned, Brandon. Couple cars in the outside trying to see what they can do as we see the 16 back out front. He has been no stranger to leading laps here at Area 51 early on this season in both the Friday and Sunday night series, obviously getting the first race win of both series last week. Not able to go for the three-peat to Friday night, but he does have the opportunity to go back-to-back here still in the Sunday night series and try to grab another win for himself here, as he will lead the field again. Mostly single file action, couple cars in the outside lane trying to hang out there and see what they can do. It looks like that's actually Chris Melton, now the first car in the outside lane. And I believe he's got Jack Walls with him there. Little car around into the wall, up they go, and that might bring out our first yellow of the night. No, we stayed green. Anthony Lane in the wall was the one who got upset on the apron there, got a little bit loose, and he is going to be crab walking. Wow, comes right in front of the Team Bootnaka guys who started on pit road here, and that 81 has a lot of damage, and I think who was that? Gary Huffines was also potentially involved there. Don't see any damage there for him, but yeah, that 81 definitely some extensive damage, and it's gonna have to come down pit road and get that repaired.
Yeah, definitely took a big lick to that outside wall. Lucky for everybody, there was only, looks like maybe just him involved. That could have got really ugly really quickly. And as we can see, those guys that we talked about earlier, starting on pit road, those guys have got up to speed and about 10 seconds off this pack right here. I think they'll be all right. They got a good group. They'll be able to line up. As we can still see, this front group is still not very organized, and that is really helping those guys back there as they try to get up to speed and get everything back going. As we can see, look like somebody's still crab walking down their pit road trying to get to their pit box.
Yeah, I think the 19 of Hayden Davis was potentially involved there as well. Don't really have, for whatever reason, iRacing, well, no yellow, but SDK also did not show, the software we used, it also did not show an incident. So no real good point to go back and rewatch, so I apologize for that. But I believe with the 19 being as far off the pace here, and as well as the 00's pace could just be because he's by himself. But Hayden Davis is about 4 seconds a lap slower than pretty much everybody in the field right now. So that's a lot slower where Gary Huffines is maybe 2 seconds slower a lap on his own, so definitely maybe okay for the 00, but definitely some damage there for Hayden Davis. So we are still single file pretty much here. The 49 and the 83, the only drivers making moves on the outside. Now they're actually even with the third car in the inside lane. That's Dean Wilkinson. So that 49 is continuing to try and move forward without a lot of help, as we are starting lap number 6 here.
Yeah, we're starting to see these guys get single filed out here. Just a few guys on that outside. As we go into the turn, they start to get a little bit more wide there in the back. And that makes me come back to right what you talked about. How many of these guys up here, of course, not the 16. He's not thinking about fuel. He's thinking about keeping it up front, hammer down, leading this pack. But the guys behind him, you can see maybe they've already came into that. As you can see in between cars, it's not normal like we normally have here. They got some pretty good gaps there. As you can see, the 16, they thought that run was coming and they were going to move right up. So they're not worried about fuel, but it makes me think those guys maybe midway back there in the pack, that could be kicking into their strategy.
And something interesting I'm noticing here on the ticker, we see, so Cody Nagels obviously started on the pole, so he hasn't improved his position, but everybody all the way back to 17th place is currently at least one spot ahead of where they were to start the night. Obviously, part of that was from Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, and Everett Lane. They're 17, 16, and 14 spots down from their initial start, and there is a yellow flag out on the speedway. What? It was a 714. That's what it was involved, and it looks like the 11 of Thomas Holder also has some extensive damage, and the Team Bootnaka guy is just driving through there at the end. So we should have a good. Oh wow, that 11 has a ton of damage. I think he's gonna have to jump to pit road. Yep, there he does, and disappears. So let's try and take a look back, understand where this happened. Obviously came out of turn number 2, and you see the 714 is already around and hitting the outside wall. So we'll watch this contact here between the 11 and the 714 as they come off of pit road and just really know where to go for the 11. And then, ooh, another car piling in there, also know where to go at the end. And yeah, that'll be a decent amount of damage. I think that was potentially Bob Fitzgerald. No, it wasn't Bob Fitzgerald at the end there. I'll have to figure out what car that was exactly, but yeah. So we'll rewind it a little bit here and see if we can. Oh, it's a 77 of Robert Amaral. That's who it was there. So we'll rewind this here. We'll watch the 714, grab a different camera angle, and see if we can understand exactly what happened here. So we're coming off a 2, and just 13. Oh man, that looks a lot like netcode, doesn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely some net code there, but you can see the 13 was definitely when you go here the cars wash up so much, so maybe the 714, he just washed up a little bit in those turns and the 13 was like, "Oh, okay, he's just going to go up. It's early in the race, I'll go." And then that little fun thing called net code comes into play, and next thing you know you're around in a really really tough break for the 77. He was just nowhere to go and gonna unfortunately probably gonna have to use a fast repair as they come down pit road. And now I wonder what this does to the 88 and them guys' plan. Their plan was to be out of everything going on up there. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do here.
Yeah, we will try and keep an eye on that for sure. It also looks like Dude Conrad has joined the field. We'll have to see where he nets out, but yeah, so it was showing. I'm not sure if he just missed the grid or what happened, or but obviously he's rejoining a little bit later, so it only shows him as maybe a lap down, but we'll have to get.
Yeah, I think he just got the lucky dog.
Okay.
I think he may have just got, yeah, because he was the first car a lap down, I believe, when we were racing there. So I think he was rolling around there to get the lucky dog.
Okay. All right. So Gabe Butler, Everett Lane, they are going to actually roll through pit road and not take fuel or tires. So they are probably going to come back down and pit on this second time around. Gary Huffines did that as well. And then everybody else taking pretty much almost exclusively across the board, taking 4 tires and fuel all the way back to 21st place. Mike Allen, Dude Conrad is in the pits. Obviously, lucky dog there for him. So, yeah, Thomas Holder is still towing back, and I think Doug Webb is too. So unfortunately for them, they may go 1 lap down because of that. So, but you see the 714 fenders pop out. The 11's already away. 714 is up, so they're going to get their pit stop and get that fast repair, and they should avoid going at least 1 more lap down if they are 1 down at all. So. Yeah, you'll see Gabe Butler and some of his crew coming down the 00, the 10 on pit road. Jack Walls, Kyle Brooks also pitting from further on back. And yeah, that should sort it out pretty easily here. And yeah, why don't we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the first restart.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Alrighty, we have sorted out here. Cody Nagels is going to be the control car once again for the first restart of the night. Dean Wilkinson's going to be promoted to the outside lane. Todd Merkel, Chris Meldon, and Maxwell Caldwell, your top 5 as green flag is back out on the speedway. Up to the gearbox they go. Back up to speeds of over 200, up to 240 miles an hour here at iRacing Superspeedway.
Yeah, we see the 16 jump right up there outside. I was wondering if the 55 was gonna do the same thing he did last time, as we see that outside lane once again fizzle out as the 16 does get up there. But I was gonna wonder to see maybe if that 55 did jump down, is now the 2 guys that brought us to the green get hooked together and right now, as we sit, the 2's trying to make a run for that lead. Is him and the 49 get a good push there on the bottom.
Yeah, good run for them. Obviously, the 16 and the 55 are pretty well connected in that high lane right now, and see what they can do. Obviously, there's a little bit of a gap now between the 2 and the 49, which is going to slow up that progress. But most of the inside lane really isn't too bunched up here, which is allowing, obviously, this outside lane to form just a little bit here. 77 looks like he grabbed a fast repair, and a bunch of cars are actually going to jump to the high side as a 16 jumps to the bottom and grabs the lead and control back over in front of Todd Merkel there.
Yeah, some good running. I spoke with the 16, before the race, and he was probably one of the, first people that was happy he was up front to see that caution. He talked about, it was going to be really tough getting on and off pit road. So the first pit stop checked out of the way under caution, so stays calm and clean that way. But something I noticed was that the 88 and the 24, they came out of pit road up in those top 4 or 5 positions. They have once again dropped to the back. So boom, that tells me that these guys are either just wanting to ride or they just believe there's going to be chaos up front and just don't want to be involved in anything, as we see these guys are normally front-running cars with a little bit of different strategy here tonight.
Yeah, they're pretty much running all back here, about 5 of them. Yeah, I'm assuming that that's, kind of what their goal is here, is just to try to avoid the chaos. Obviously, the 11 of Thomas Holder's back here with them, and he's trying to avoid the chaos of having to burn a second fast repair. So, but as we, continue on at the front, Cody Nagels, the 2 of Todd Merkel, and the 49 of Chris Melton have strung out single file, and we'll be starting lap number 14 this time by. So that puts everybody through 22nd, all the way back to Dude Conrad on the lead lap. And then Anthony Lane, Doug Webb, and Thomas Holder. Obviously, Doug Webb and Thomas, part of the caution that actually came out and got trapped 1 lap down, having to tow back to pit road. And then Anthony Lane involved in the incident that did not bring out a yellow to start. He is thankfully back up to 1 lap down and currently battling for the lucky dog and in position for it if a caution were to come out, as we see the 101 of Joshua Highbaugh working the high side with Bill Hales as well, and they are slowly moving forward in that second lane.
Yeah, and something to bring up here is as we go on here to lap 15, we're a little bit under the halfway mark of what Area 51 did this year. As they did it on Friday night, and they're doing it again tonight. The money lap, they're going to give it to whoever is the leader at the end of lap 32 will pick up that prize. So we know here in at least 15 laps this front pack's going to pick up, and we can see it here now starting to form as the 101 and the 35 get a good run on the outside, but something to stay tuned in for as we get closer to that lap 32 mark.
Yeah, good running so far for the 101, the 35, a couple other teammates there from Silver Fox Racing trying to improve their position there in the outside lane. They've also got, I believe that's Mike Allen, and then, Frank Ranger Jr. with them. Not a part of Silver Fox running elsewhere, but a lot of good drivers up at the front right now trying to make some moves and see what they can do. Pretty quiet so far. The 101 and the 35 obviously working the high side with some company behind them, but not really able to get past the 16 or the 2 in order to get clear and get down to control the bottom lane of this race. But for the most part, able to pretty steadily stay in that outside lane.
Yeah, some good running here so far, and one thing to also keep an eye on is that another thing they added back in was bonus points, and so the 16 in a lot of these races he's been running up front, trying to stay up front to get those bonus points, and it may not seem like it now as we get some little bit of tight 3-wide racing there going through the corner, but those bonus points will start to add up, and he already got that win out of the way. So if you can get those bonus points and add that up as we get closer to the playoff, that's a big bonus to have as you go into the playoffs on these other drivers.
Ooh, we've got a wreck behind in turns 3 and 4, and that is going to bring out the second yellow of the night. A bunch of cars involved in some big chaos farther on back. Oh man, the 11 is going to have to burn a second fast repair already. That is very early for him to have to do that. And oh man, we're going to have to break this down and see where this all started, because this is a big one. So I think this happened further ahead of them. Yep, we see it there. Okay, so oh man, the 77 involved too. Ah, what a tough night for those guys. All right, so we'll focus on the 77, and if we need to, we will rewind. Actually, no, we can see it here. So coming into turns 3 and 4. Oh, on the bottom, that is the 52 of Dale Rapp getting loose on the apron, and then unfortunately when he does, he collects a couple cars, and then at that point it's just piling in and a bunch of chaos across the track. The 071 just barely misses it. The 71 of Gael Brooks misses it as well, and then you see as they check up, Gabe Butler gets hit from behind from I think that was the 19 that was sliding through. The 24 tries to go high, and unfortunately there's no lane there. And yeah, Dude Conrad I think actually got through pretty unscathed, but man, some big damage for the 77 and the 11 for the second caution in a row.
Yeah, and what happens when you go into those corners, you hit that bump, and if you get a little bit of the apron, it's going to shoot you back up the racetrack, and that's what can happen, and unfortunate for those involved. And with pit stops underway, what do you say we get to a commercial break?
Sounds like a great idea. We'll be right back from one of our sponsors. And as always, we say thank you to Whiplash SimCams for bringing you all of the camera views here for tonight's action. So everything that you see on your screen is brought to you by Andrew and the crew there. So always appreciate their support and their help in keeping these cameras up to date and bringing us some great footage for the broadcast. So Dean Wilkinson is going to come down pit road, I think, the second time, so he's going to relinquish the lead to Cody Nagels, and a couple other drivers are actually coming down to get top off on fuel. So Cody Nagels is going to keep his track position. Gary Huffines is going to be there in the second position. Then Bob Fitzgerald, Todd Merkel, Chris Melton, Bill Hales, Justin Davis, Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Highbaugh, and then Jack Walls should be your top 10 by the time this all sorts back out. And we re-rack and stack 2 by 2 and get ready for another restart.
Talked about it a little bit ago, but we can still see some familiar names. But you look at that top 10, and we still got some drivers out there that either weren't here last season or they're new to the league this season, up there hanging strong. That was something we talked about to keep an eye on, and those guys are doing pretty well up there, hanging on. We can see the 10 of Justin Davis started last season, had him a good first season, made the playoffs, and got him a good top 10 run here so far. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good names. Obviously, you see Bob Fitzgerald there in third. You see Jack Walls in ninth. Now Jim Brooks in 10th. And those guys definitely have been around for quite a while. I mean, even Todd Merkel in the 2 has been around for quite a while, but absent at times in the last couple seasons. And a lot of names returning, a couple names new, and it's always good to see people coming back. after a long hiatus, and seeing those fresh names at the top of the grid here. So one thing I think I'm just now realizing we should also probably check out is Justin and Hayden Davis are both just Davis in the scoring pylon. So maybe try and get that updated here behind the scenes. But obviously the 19 is Hayden and the 10 is Justin. Justin joining us last season. Then he's convinced his cousin Hayden to join us. So family affair for those two drivers, as Cody Nagels will be the control car yet again. And green flag once again flies at iRacing Superspeedway.
Yeah, another good start here by the 16, and to bounce back to Justin having his cousin, come on to the series and help him out. That's how you become the favorite cousin. When you can get a teammate and a running partner for your Super Speedway league, that's how you get to be the best cousin. As we see some guys right here off the rip, 3 wide, they're going for it as we're getting closer and closer to that money lap, Boom.
Yes, definitely getting closer there. Working on lap number 21 at the moment, and a big move for the 00 and the 2 as they go to the high side, and they're going to get clear all the way down to the bottom, and they're going to take control over this race on this restart here.
Yeah, and a good move there by the 94. We're 21 laps in, and we've seen the 16 being aggressive, and that's what you want to do is what the 16 did, make that big move. We heard guys talk about it before. Don't hesitate, make that move. And the 94, seen him come down, was able to whoa up and not run him over, and keeps it in his good spot there. So good move there by the 94 of keeping everybody going and understanding, hey, we're still on lap 21 and letting some of these guys make their runs.
Yeah, definitely a little segmented here at the front of the pack, but I mean it's pretty much anybody's game still. A lot of cars kind of really no great organization right now, as you see everybody just kind of laying off the guy in front of them a little bit here, and yeah, I don't really see any kind of urgency right now. I'm kind of surprised. Obviously we're, like you said, we're about 10 laps away from paying out the random lap for tonight, so kind of curious to see how that action starts to ramp up as Cody Nagels tries to take control of the lead once again. He's got the 49 of Melton helping him down the back straightaway, and then it looks like they're going to go 3 wide there. Jack Walls is going to get a big run to the outside by himself as the 00 and the 2 still work in the bottom lane.
Yeah, these guys are running good, and speaking of bonus laps and bonus money, I need to put a petition together for a bonus point for bringing the best paint scheme to the track. And I tell you what, one of them I've been keeping an eye on tonight is we see somebody go right there under the yellow, getting a little wobbly, come out of 4, is the 8 of Dude Conrad. I've seen a lot of cool 8 paint schemes growing up watching Dale Earnhardt Jr., but that 8, I tell you what, that is one good-looking paint scheme there, right there, Boom.
Yeah, definitely some great painters in this league, and obviously the 8 always sponsoring, or always carrying the Yorkville sponsorship on his cars, but a very good-looking 8 Chevrolet as they roll it off into turns 3 and 4. A lot of really great paint schemes here. It's definitely some new ones that we have to keep an eye on, and some classic paint schemes that we've seen for years and years. Obviously, the Guinness one comes to mind. Todd Merkel's always raced that almost like a key lime green number 2, always a Ford. So good to see some new and some old paint schemes mixed in here. As actually looks like Dean Wilkinson has crashed and has taken a tow to pit road. So that's going to be definitely difficult for him. Not entirely sure what happened there, but yeah, can't really make sense of what exactly happened. But yeah, so an incident there for Dean Wilkinson caused him to jump to pit road, and we stayed green on the speedway though.
Yeah, speaking of Guinness, he picked up the bonus money on Friday. He's trying to pick it up again today. I tell you what, this bonus money can go a long way there when you're buying some Guinness. So we can see it's coming around. The 88 has made the decision. Okay, it's time to go. I'm gonna make a little run, maybe get a sweep on the weekend for the money lap. We can see he's made his way up there. But one person that hasn't got there yet is his teammate, the 24, a couple cars back, as these guys are trying to make a run on that inside lane. Cody Nagels has held it down really good so far.
Yeah, Cody's, I mean, really been controlling the race really well, as we've seen him do, early on, even in this season. So definitely, I mean, immediately putting his name in the hat for the front runners and someone to watch and keep an eye on. And obviously, probably way too early championship predictions is that he'll, probably be in good shape as long as things continue to go his way this season and he continues to show this kind of speed. And I mean, really, fairly impressive for how easily he makes it look to be able to control the front of these races. I know a couple of these guys really have that ability, and you see another one, Gabe Butler there, is trying to do what he can. They're battling really hard down the back straightaway with a side draft and such, trying to see what they can do to figure out who's going to lead that lap and get that bonus points here in about 5 laps.
Yeah, and we spoke to Cody, in an interview after a race, and we asked him because tonight he is in TW's, chat with those guys, but we seen unfortunate for Dean, so he's not up there, and so he said it's a little bit easier. He hasn't really been in a chat, so there's not really been that commitment that you got to really stick with that guy, and it's able to let him drive a little bit more free as some of these guys try to stick with their teammates in that run. He's been able to, go where he wants and make the move when he wants. So he's doing this, sometimes solo by himself. So that's another thing to tip your cap to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's, very Dale Jr. early, other than, maybe 2001, but early 2000s, Dale Jr., 2000 teens for sure, didn't want to work with anybody, just wanted to do his own thing. So, yeah, definitely working out for him so far. Gabe Butler does get the lead, but the 16 is going to get clear and take it right back as 3 cars are going to be clear ahead of the 88 coming into turn 1 and 2, the 16, the 49, and the 00, as we get so closer to that lap 32 mark, as the 88's going to try and mount a charge back again on the high side.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up as we got, guys, it looks like it's angled about 4 wide, but it's really just 2 wide. It's just spread out a little bit. But these guys are really starting to make those moves. As we can see that, I think with the 69, and they talked about air in these cars last week, and I think as they come, that little bit of air that they push up onto that outside line really kills their momentum. So just a heads-up strategy move. If you got that car length, and that's what that air is doing to kill that second lane and not let them get that run, it's going to get really tight here as we come to pass this lap car.
3 laps to go, less than 3 laps to go now to the payout for the random lap, again, end of lap number 32. And the 88 not quite able to get back up to that lead. You saw the 16, the 49, and the 00 clear heading into turn 2, and Gabe Butler trying to get back up there with the help of Jack Walls, Maxwell Caldwell in the mix as well, and they just aren't able to be as organized as that 49 is on the back bumper of the 16. The 49 thinks about going to the high lane, but does not have the opportunity, and the 88 shuts the door down the front straightaway. So the 88, 83 pushing as hard as they can. It'll be lap 31 this time by, so there's 2 laps to go to the end of lap 32. 88 still working hard on the high side, the 16 still controlling it from the bottom.
Yeah, good running up here by these guys, and I tell you, one guy that's smiling right now who loves this little bonus thing that the league has put in, and that's the 52 Adele Rapp. He's 1 lap down. He needs that lucky dog as these guys are up here running hard. If a caution would come out, that would throw him back on the lead lap. So one guy hoping these guys right here keep racing hard is that 52 as we come all so close to that lap 32.
So it'll be 1 lap to go. Obviously start of lap 32 here, but it'll be whoever crosses the stripe next will be the winner of the random lap payout. Again, I said earlier, it's bonus points. It's not. It is money, cash money that you're going to win for leading this lap here. And the 16 looks like he is in good control. The 49 helping him down the back straightaway. The 88 and the 83 not able to get as much of a run. They're the only 2 cars within the top 10 or so that are actually in the outside lane, and I say that 94 of Maxwell Caldwell jumps back to the bottom, so it remains true. The 88 and the 83 just don't have enough momentum, and off of turn number 4, does the 49 make the move? No, he does not. He's going to stay tucked behind, and Cody Nagels is going to grab that money for tonight.
Yeah, good run there by the 16, and he's been up there all night. And I mean, if we had a little betting thing at the beginning of the race, he probably would have had some pretty good odds. And now that that's out the way, these guys got to flip right back into talking with their teammates, get to the bottom. We're about to have green flag pit stops. And yeah, that bonus money can be cool and fun, but if you can't execute this pit stop that's about to happen, you're going to have to probably burn a fast repair. So these guys got to switch back into concentrating and focus on hitting their mark here. In practice, every single one of these guys was having a problem. It just wasn't a one or two, three cars. Every single one of them was having problems coming onto pit road.
Yeah, that definitely makes more sense now. Maybe that the 88 and the 83 didn't have as much help in the outside lane coming so close to pit stops here. But for the most part, those guys able to find a spot in line. The 8 is trying to see what he can do to grab a spot. I don't think I see any of his teammates anywhere around him, so he's going to have some work to do to try to get back to the bottom, although it does look like a hole is opening up behind the 13 of Mike Allen that he should be able to get into there, and does not decide to, so he's going to try to keep moving forward as much as he can by himself in that high lane.
Yeah, he's stuck out there, but you really want to get down. If there's a hole and you want to be aggressive right now, is definitely the time to do it. We seen it on Friday. If we look at these guys from the front to the last lead lap car, we see 2.2 seconds. That right there in pit road time can evaluate up sometimes to 6 to 7 seconds. That can cause you the front pack. So you got to be aggressive and you got to get down.
Yeah, the 8 is definitely making some moves. If he can get one more car ahead, he'll be behind the 24 of Everett Lane. Now 2 cars as they stream by him down in the back straightaway, but Cody Nagel's continuing to lead. Everybody else trying to find the hole on the bottom, and the 8 of Dude Conrad's still trying to move up as much as he can before he makes this next green flag pit stop here.
Yeah, still Ryan, as it looks like Dude's going to make his move right there, get on down, and that's a good spot right there. He's about a little over three quarters of a second back, but that right there, as good as Dude is, you can make up that lost time, that you just had from up there, and now what you got to be aware of is the guys entering and, making sure that the people understand around you, hey, I'm coming this time by. We see sometimes guys try to make that late call and throw the surprise, and that's when some chaos has happened. As you can see, Dude here, he's got a nice little buffer. I like that little bit of gap there, giving the guy a little bit of space behind you and ahead of you just in case anything does happen.
No takers this time by, actually a couple further back in the back. The 35, the 11, and the 52 are going to come down pit road. And they are going to get down smoothly, it looks like. So we'll see if everybody answers the call and comes this time by, or if we're going to wait another lap. But Cody Nagels continues to control this race. Chris Melton, Gary Huffines, Todd Merkel, and Gabe Butler, your top 5 at the moment. And the 88 and the 24 are saying, nah, I'm going to save, or I'm not going to pit. I've saved enough. I'm going to go another lap, jump to that high side, and try to grab more track position before they pit. So we'll see if the 16, the 49, and the 00 peel off, or if they stay out and they peel off.
Yeah, they come this time by. Looks like we're going to have about 4 or 5 cars here come down here. As we can see, oh, somebody's going to get in there to that. Oh, two cars here. Look like the 81 back there along with another car. We talked about it. It's so hard here to enter this pit road. You're coming from about 200 miles an hour down to, I believe it's 55, 60, and you can lock those brakes up really, really easily, as we just seen. That's what happened there. But with the 52 and 11, I like that strategy of them guys coming early just in case something like that did happen. They were 1 lap down. If something does happen, they can, they'll be in the pits. They're not around any of the mess, and hopefully they can get back out there. But I would assume these guys are going to come this time, Boom.
Yep, there's the 88, the 24, the 2, the 83, the 00, the 8, and a couple other stragglers of everybody who has not pit yet. So we'll see how this cycle. Actually, Maxwell Caldwell stays out on track. So he's the only one who has not come in for a second pit stop yet. Or actually technically third for some of these drivers, but third or fourth. But yeah, so Maxwell's going to stay out an extra lap here, although he doesn't really have too much drafting help in front of him, so that may hurt him quite a bit, and he will not have any drafting help by the time he comes out of pit road, I don't believe. So tough spot for the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell here, and assuming he's going to be able to come in this time by. There he comes down by himself. So that's going to be a very lonely pit road ride for that 94. But you saw just ahead of him there was Cody Nagels in the 16. So they are coming down the front straightaway, entering turn 1 right about now. We'll jump to Gabe Butler, who is coming off of pit road down the back straightaway. He has his teammate Everett Lane behind him, and then there's a good gap back to Todd Merkel and the 00 of Gary Huffines, but the 16 of Cody Nagels has quite a bit of speed, and none of that matters because yellow flag is out on the speedway.
Yeah, I don't. When we came back, when we was watching those guys come down the front stretch, we seen a lot of big hiccup there coming out of pit road. So I wonder if somebody maybe got on it a little bit too hard and came around, or
yeah, I think
we can.
we'll try and focus here on the 714 because I did have it said that he may have crashed and then jumped to pits, so he's already slow here. So I'm not sure if he just comes to a stop or if there's an issue, because this is full speed. So yeah, he comes to a stop on the apron, and apparently that was enough to trigger the yellow. We'll try and see if we can see anybody else that was having any issues at the time, but I think it was just just stopping on the apron there, I believe was enough to bring out the yellow, because no other issues out on track. Honestly, that probably going to help the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell out the absolute most, as he should, I think, be able to retain the lead here. So, yeah, definitely interesting situation. But if there are, if there's a car stopped on the apron and there are enough cars around it, it will register. Obviously, it registered as a crash in our software, and then the yellow flag came out. So that's going to be the bit of a weird incident, and unfortunately, not really, obviously not entirely sure what was happening for Doug Webb there, what kind of potential mechanical issues he may have had, but yeah, that's going to be probably the end of his night potentially. So Maxwell Caldwell, though, biggest beneficiary for this yellow flag. He is going to retain his track position, and now he's going to be able to pit ahead of the leaders, as the 00 of Gary Huffines and Jack Walls are actually going to stay out here. So everybody else is going to come down pit road and get at least a splash of fuel, maybe some tires. And we will be probably lap 44 or so before we go back green. So it'll be about 30 laps to go, and there will be probably just one pit stop here to the end for just about everybody.
Yeah, and we talk about this every week and spoke with a couple drivers. They said anywhere from 16 to 18 laps they thought on fuel with these cars, depending on the runs they got. And right now, we're sitting at 34 laps to go, with some of these guys coming a lap or two before with caution. So we've seen some guys have some fuel problems on Friday and run out and not have enough. So this throws that wrench with this caution at this time to see, or some guys going to have the same situation as they had on Friday.
Yeah, definitely interesting for sure. It helps, it really only helped, I think, Maxwell Caldwell out, and potentially, I don't think Cody Nagels wanted to see that yellow, but it really doesn't impact him too much. Obviously, him and Chris Melton had some good momentum down the back straightaway there, but yeah, we will be under our third caution, so you know what that means. It's time for another commercial break, and this time we'll hear from our friends at 4D Racewear.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
They're trying to sort it out here as you saw us jump through the camera shots, but kind of an interesting issue here. Looked like quite a bit of the field was actually waved around the pace car. And then we saw Gael Brooks, who was in the 15th position, the first car behind the pace car. So we're not entirely sure. It looks like Jack Walls, all the way back to Bob Fitzgerald, are a lap ahead of Gael, who is stuck behind the pace car. So we're going to see if we can get this sorted out here. Not sure if this is going to be an opportunity for them to, I guess, wave the rest of the field around. I'm not entirely sure, but so for now, Gary Huffines is being scored your race leader. And then it'll be Chris Melton, Jack Walls, Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, and I think Everett Lane. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting the way that played out, but I think, yeah, Gael is going to get waved around. So is Jim. Dale Rapp is not being lead around, so I think he'll be the first car one lap down, as well as Robert Amaral and Hayden Davis. And then Thomas Holder should be 2 laps down, along with Doug Webb and Frank Ranger Jr. And I think Dean Wilkinson will be 3 laps down. Anthony Lane will be 3 as well, 3 or 4. I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, we'll get that sorted out here. And Gary Huffines should be the leader of this race by the time we come back, get these cars re-racked and stacked, and go back green here, Brandon.
Yeah, while we're getting everything settled out here, I wanna give a shout out. I love giving drivers a shout out. He's kept his nose clean and he stayed pretty quiet these last 2 races. He came in second in points, but that 49 in Melton, he's just silently been up there. He's been riding a lot behind Cody Nagels and watching what Cody does, and so just give a shout out to that 49 for having a good run these first 2 races. Keep it up, and hopefully can pick up that first W.
Yeah, good showing so far. Obviously, helping out Cody Nagels a little bit here and there, but has had a good run early on. Gary Huffines, again, going to be scored your leader. So I think the 55 and the 81 are going to get a free lap back because they are ahead of the pace car. But I'm not entirely sure because the lights are off on the pace car and we are single file. So, yeah, we'll just let this kind of play out, and maybe we'll take opportunity for another quick commercial break here. We'll pull up another commercial here. We'll go back to Whiplash SimCams. We get it sorted out here. The 55 and the 81 are ahead of the field as tail end of whatever lap they're on, which is potentially a few down, but we are sorted and back under green. Gary Huffines is your race leader. Chris Melton is giving him a push in that inside lane. Then Cody Nagels, the 83 and the 88 are working in the outside lane, and we are back to racing.
Yeah, iRacing and iRacing Superspeedway throw some of the most hiccups on online racing here, but the 00 is going to take the breaks where you can get them, and he's going to lead this pack around as the veteran Jack Walls leading that outside with, I believe that is Gabe Butler has made his way back up there along with the 24 back together, trying to lead that outside lane. We haven't seen that outside lane be as strong as we can see some big pushes down there on the inside lane.
Yeah, you see the 83 though getting a really great push from the 88. He's going to get clear down into turn number 1 and jump to the bottom there and be promoted to the lead. Gets a bonus point for a lap led there. So did Gary Huffines a couple laps ago. And the 24 of Everett Lane's going to try and return the favor to his teammate ahead of him. Cody Nagels is there, third in line, trying to move forward as well. And you see, man, really great pushes from the 88 and the 24. And the 88 is just about clear, but his teammate is not, so they're going to try and mount a charge once again and see what they can do to get the both of them clear and down. And looks like Dean Wilkinson is going to come back down pit road, potentially serving a penalty there. And does the 88 have enough of a push from the 24? I think he's going to be clear to the bottom there, so he's going to leave his teammate out there with the help of the 16 of Cody Nagels in that outside lane and see what they can do to continue to mount a charge. As Gabe Butler's going to jump back up to the high side now and try to get a good push from the 24 here.
Yeah, these guys are, if you're the rest of the racers, what you just seen that second lane do is how good they got that run and then was able to clear. That gives definitely you some hope as we seen that inside lane. It was really just dominating all night so far, but you get the right group of cars in that second lane and you can definitely make it work. We see these guys running 2x2, and we're going to have one more pit stop. It's just going to, I think right now it's just cruising. Hey, let's make it to the end. A lot of these guys on that outside lane was involved in that earlier wreck in the back, so some of these guys have maybe already used a fast repair, and I don't think you want to use your last one with maybe trying to push the issue with 25 laps to go.
Yeah, the intensity seems to have ramped up here a little bit there. Oh, the 24 is going to get a little sideways, little door ding with the 83, but they continue. And yeah, definitely some serious aggression ramp up here in the later stages. We are now crossing over into the final third of the 75 laps scheduled for tonight's distance. And the 88 and the 24 continuing to work that middle lane with the 16, now the 49 in tow. The 13, the 101 are trying to get the third lane forming and rolling, but they don't have too much help there on the outside.
Yeah, that third lane here is really, really tough. If you don't have a good core up there and a lot of guys that understand how to push on that outside lane, just because it is just that much further around the track, as it really widens out here. You can fit so many cars up there. You know, it's so wide here. It's really hard to make ground, and that's why you really see those guys when they get in that second lane. That's where you want to bunch it up and run. Is we see the 49. We just spoke about it, how he's been locked in pretty good here with the 16 and Nagels, and they got a really, really good run there going on the outside. A lot of good pushes there and a lot of good pushes at the right time.
Yeah, we saw the 24 and the 88 get cleared to the lead. They took over the bottom lane. And as the pack's starting to reform a little bit here, you see the 16 and the 49 and the 8 with the 13 working in the high line. 24, 88, 83, 00 is your inside lane at the moment, and we are 2x2 through pretty much the whole field here. And now we're counting down, 25 laps to go instead of counting up. And looks like Everett Lane is going to get a lap lead here. And I believe, he would have led last lap, so he already has a bonus point for leading a lap there. So does the 16. I believe the 88 does as well. I know the 83 does, so those bonus points all going to help those drivers here who really have kind of been pretty much controlling this race pretty much all night. The 16, the 49 have been up there, the 83. Ooh, we got a caution further on. Back issue, maybe? We saw someone go low, and that's the 11 of Thomas Holder. And Gael Brooks potentially also involved? Yes, Gael Brooks is involved as well. Let's see if we can rewind. We're green flag, and as we come off of turn number 2, the 11 gets into the 52. 11 makes contact with the outside wall, and then nowhere to go for the 71. Tries to go down and just gets clipped in the outside, and nowhere to go for Gael, and that's going to be a heartbreaker for him for sure.
Yeah, unfortunate that the caution didn't come out, but they are under that yellow, and it is very rare. They're off the racing surface, and especially here, it's iRacing. It's just so tough that you're going to get a call like that, so just unfortunate. And the 11 and the 52, they weren't just back there racing just back to racing they were racing for the lucky dog. They know these guys, the laps are starting to tick down, and you want to be the lucky dog. You want to be in front of that guy that you're racing against, because you want a chance that you don't know what can happen. You want to be on the lead lap when it comes to the end of it. So just unfortunate, some tough racing there is going to hurt the 11. I'm pretty sure he's ready just to get to next week.
Yeah, definitely not the night that the 11 is going to want to remember. Definitely some difficulties for him there. I believe that's now the third incident that he's been involved in for tonight, and yeah, unfortunately, obviously takes out Gael. He's back out on the speedway, has a faster pair, but he will be 2 laps down by the time the field catches back up to him. The 24 and the 88 continue to work that bottom line, and the 16, ooh, a little bit of wiggle there for the 88 of Gabe Butler, and the 16 and the 49 not quite able to get as good of a push in that high lane as the 88 and the 24 did earlier. So for now, the 88 and the 24 continue to control the inside and try to take over this race as Cody Nagels continues to try to be pushed ahead and get ahead of them so he can control this race.
Yeah, and really unfortunate for Gael too. You know, we got 21 laps to go, just back there riding, and if it would have maybe been in a couple more laps where these guys said they could make it, it probably wouldn't have stung as bad. But now he had to come down and take that fast repair, and then he is going to have to come at least one more time to make it on the end. So the 71 is definitely going to be looking for some cautions. Is the same way, just not the last 2 nights of racing that he's won it either. So hopefully that camp can get it turned around, as these guys up here, hey, they're not letting off. They want to be in the lead.
16 still not able to clear the 24, but nonetheless they're going to keep trying in that outside lane. Again, 21 laps to go, in about 3 laps the window to the end should be open. And we'll see when everybody decides to come down pit road, if they're going to come down immediately or if they're going to wait it out. A couple cars came down, including your top 4. They came down again on that last caution to top off with a little extra fuel. Jack Walls and Gary Huffines obviously stayed out, and because of that, they're going to have a couple of laps fewer of fuel in the tank, which also means they may need to take a little bit more here at the end, which could add additional pit time. And if this pit happens under green flag, that's going to be potentially detrimental for them, but we'll see how that strategy plays out in just a few laps here.
Yeah, boom. And we seen this on Friday. Butanaka tried a strategy. It didn't work out. So now as they come and they're in position up front again, do you think these guys, when it opens, that they come immediately? Or do you think that they wait a couple laps and say, all right, we're going to pit now and make sure we have enough? As we seen on Friday, they tried to, pit early, as they thought those other guys were going to have to pit. They didn't have to. They could end up making it. So how do you think that? Do you think they change their strategy and make sure they have enough tonight, or do you think they stick with it and as soon as it opens, they bring it down pit road?
With the amount of incidents that we've seen tonight, I would think that the safer bet would be to let it run long and then take less fuel. If you do get to a green flag pit cycle, taking a little bit less fuel is going to potentially be helpful. I don't think anybody's saving. Nobody really needs to be saving at this time, so it's going to be a little different, like you mentioned. But so I think no one's really going to have an issue of being able to make it, but it's definitely going to be a question of when to come down. But I think letting it play out as long as possible would be the best. We've seen some issues with the green flag pit cycle that we did have, and then quite a few incidents where definitely would be waiting it out.
Yeah, and I definitely think they're going to follow the leader. We seen those first couple guys as they came off turn 4. It kind of looked like they was going to go to pit road. The 83 went down, and then he came right back immediately when he seen those guys went coming to pit road. So I definitely think it's going to be a little bit of follow the leader here. As these guys, as you can see, the 16, he start to give a little bit of gap. These guys are spread out a little bit, just in case. As we see right here, the 83 says, 8, we're coming this time, as I believe that's Gary Huffines coming with him. And, Jack Walls loses it. He's going to cut right across. Oh, no. Oof.
The 81 also involved, gets loose and spins on pit road again. The 11 is already on pit road, but Gary Huffines, Justin Davis, Hayden Davis, and then Jack Walls, coming down pit road that time. Man, that was going to work out well until it wasn't for the 83 and the 81 making contact with the pit wall there. 16 laps to go. The 24 and the 88 continue to lead with 16 of Nagel's in the third spot. And I think for the most part, the Davis cousins are going to be able to get out together. And then we see everybody else answering the call here. Does everybody get down pit road okay? I think we see some lockups, but for the most part, okay. Further on back, some lockups and maybe a little bit of contact, but fairly clean for this second group here.
Yeah, that car right there that we're watching scares me. He had them brakes locked up well after the cone. Something to keep an eye on. And the luckiest break of them all, the 10 of Justin Davis. When that car spun, he was kind of in the pit road box. And sometimes the car will go invisible when it thinks it's in a box. And I think he caught a break because he went through. I didn't see any damage. He was able to get on and off pit road. So maybe if caught a break there, here's the two of Todd Merkel and Caldwell are going to come this time. They're the last two to come to pit road. Hopefully they can keep it clean here. As we can see that 88 and the 24 are both still on pit road.
Oh man, penalties for the 16 of Cody Nagels, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and the 24 of Everett Lane on that last pit stop, on the money stop. They made an issue somehow. Either probably would just be, there's really no way to have an unsafe pit entry, so was probably speeding for both of those guys, for all three of them, and they're going to come off pit road now. But we see, Todd Merkel and the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell are working together in a chat, teammates for tonight, and caution is out on the speedway.
Yeah, this is going to be a break for a lot of these guys. I don't know exactly what happened, but this caution is going to help some guys, and I think it's going to hurt some guys at the same time. The guys that is going to benefit this, I believe, is going to be the 94 and the 2 just coming down pit road. The 94 has nailed it when to come to pit road tonight, Boom.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm trying to look back and see. I don't really understand what happened with that yellow. I don't think we see anybody that had an issue. Oh, there it is. The 83 of Jack Walls stopped on the track. Not entirely sure what that was, but let's rewind and see if we can make sense of what happened here. So rewinding it back for the 83. Oh, he was stopped for quite a while, potentially?
This is looking like maybe either some network or I don't think, if anything, he would have had to catch the apron here, but maybe this is some network. It looks like he shoots straight to the right here coming out of this. There's no turning here. This looks like maybe a wheel problem or something like that, where you can see he just drives straight here into the wall. So maybe a little bit of connection hardware here.
Yeah, I think this would be a hardware issue. Obviously, if it was connection, you'd see him probably blinking in and out. But could just be a wheel and or pedal disconnection. Yeah, definitely a very weird situation.
Yeah, you can. I've had this actually happen to me. I don't know if this is exactly what happened with Jack, but when the connection sometimes gets funky, you can see they're hooked all the way to the right. So sometimes with my wheel, when the connection isn't right, it will just completely shut off and kick all the way to the right. So I wonder if that's the same thing that happened there for Jack. And the best thing, is just unplug it, just so the pedals or anything like that didn't tear up anybody else. So thankfully the caution did come out, because that would have been hazardous coming off of turn 4 at 240 miles an hour.
Yeah, for whatever reason, obviously seemed like he was potentially not able to take a tow, because you would expect, obviously by now, to be stopped this long on the track, that he would have taken a tow. So as you see, full speed there. So he was sitting there for a few seconds, not entirely sure. Oh, as the yellow comes out, he does get rolling again, which is a little interesting. So yeah, not entirely sure what that is about, because it seems like he gets rolling again without potentially any issues. So kind of curious, kind of puzzling there, but we'll jump back live and see where we're at. Mike Allen is being scored as the race leader. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Gary Huffines is ahead of him, but is scored as a lap down now. Oh, right. No. Yeah, he also had a penalty. His last pit stop was a 51 second, so he had a penalty on the green flag pit cycle as well. So that's the 24, the 88, the 16, and the 00, all with penalties on that money stop. So Mike Allen is being scored as your leader. Dude Conrad, Joshua Highball, Jim Brooks, and Chris Melton, your top 5 at the moment. And we're going to take another quick commercial break here before we get going once again. This time you're going to hear from Ranger Creative Concepts.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Two by two. Pace car has no lights on, so we'll be going green flag this time by 10 laps to go by the time we cross the stripe. 13 of Mike Allen is going to take his turn as a control car for the restart here after our 4th caution. Dude Conrad again in the outside lane. Joshua Highball, Jim Brooks, and Chris Melton, your top 5 as we mentioned before the commercial break. Bob Fitzgerald, Justin Davis, Hayden Davis, Cody Nagels, and Maxwell Caldwell, the top 10. All the way back to the 16 of Gary Huffines, who is going to get his lap back here, are on the lead lap. I showed Dale Rapp, Doug Webb, Robert Amaral, and Jack Walls as 1 lap down, and Frank Ranger Jr., the first car 2 laps down. So we just heard from Ranger Creative Concepts. Obviously, that's Frank and his wife, Mindy. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that they put together there at their team with their team there. So a lot of really cool opportunities, and appreciate them coming on board to be a part of the broadcast and all that they do here for Area 51 in the league. So thank you to Frank. Definitely not the night that he was probably hoping for, but still some time left. It's 11 laps to go. Mike Allen going to be on the gas, up to the gearbox, and back up to speed. Green flag once again.
Yeah, back up to speed, and I really think Dude was trying to hop down immediately right off that restart to get down there, get up to speed as quick as he can. As you can see there, now he drops down as the 13 of Mike Allen and the 101 of Josh Highball lead us around here as we see some guys back there trying to get that outside lane going, try to get up to speed and get back up there. As for any of our old school folks in the chat or watching, and is the old band Europe said it's the final countdown. We got 10 laps to go. We got some fast repairs as we see some guys bouncing off the apron. There's no more holding back. If there's a move, you got to take it. As we see these guys back here as far as 10th, 12th, these guys are running 3 wide. As looks like some guys are going to maybe have to come in to serve some penalties. Unfortunate for them, but we got 9 laps to go and things are about to pick up.
Yeah, that was the 49 of Chris Melton touching the apron there, getting a little bit loose, and he's going to have to be shoveled back to 6th place. Dude Conrad and Cody Nagels have taken over the point here. The 101 of Joshua Highball with Justin Davis, and now Chris Melton still in your top 5. He's going to mount a charge in that high lane, see what he can do to get back up to where he was before he touched the apron on the previous lap. Maxwell Caldwell and the 88 of Gabe Butler, the 24 of Everett Lane, are working further on back in the high side, and they're going to try and do what they can to get to the front of this field, and the 94 jumps to the bottom to get in line for now, and the 101 is going to jump to the high side and see what he can do up there.
Yeah, the 101 makes the move up, and that gives Justin Davis running the third car on that inside. Ooh, little hiccup there as we go 3-4 wide in the corner. It's starting to, the guys are starting to hit that bump, and cars are really starting to get out of hand as we see some guys making some moves from the second to the inside lane. And back to Justin Davis. Last season, we brought it up earlier, he was really a student of the game. He's put all that knowledge, and he's made his way to the front. Like I said, running third car on that inside lane, trying to be at the right spot at the right time. And that's what some guys had some luck with on Friday. Oh, it looks like we're going to have another caution as some guys hit the outside wall.
Hayden Davis involved here. Who else? Not entirely sure, but we'll focus on this guy. Go back to the yellow and see if we can understand exactly what happened here. Come to the corner. Oh man, was that potentially more netcode with the 77 and the 19? That was weird. Oh man, right in front of Jim Brooks. He does get into the back of the 77 a little bit there, and then the 17 goes up, and I don't think he's going to make any contact. The 17 makes some heavy contact, and man, I think he's got to be out of fast repairs by now. Jim Brooks looks mostly clean, some contact in the rear of his car. We'll try and rewind one more time and grab another camera angle, see if we can see, definitely see the contact between the 17 and the 19 there. We'll try this camera angle, go back to the yellow and look at the 19. Oh, we are frozen. See if we can play from here. There we go.
The 77 really looks, as he enters, they're in that corner. It looks like he's coming and he hits that bump and it just sends him up, and you don't want to overcorrect and come right back down and hit the apron, and it looks like it just fades up just a little bit further onto him, and he just collects the 19 in the mix of it. But coming into these corners, as these race starts to amp up, you don't want to make a mistake and overcorrect, and I think he just maybe thought he had a little bit more room than he did, and just unfortunately takes a big, massive hit. As you can see, that car's all torn to pieces. And if I'm the 51 of Jim Brooks this late in the race, if you have it, come use that fast repair. I know it doesn't look like there's any damage to the 51, but that's still a lot of contact. Is you're going 200 plus miles an hour, and it looks, as we came down pit road, it looks like he did come down. Just maybe top off, get the tires, and then just use that fast repair.
Yeah, was trying to grab a better camera angle there, but I mean, it seemed like as they came into the corner, it could have started as a little bit of netcode, but obviously they were kind of coming together there, and they do make contact. So yeah, definitely unfortunate, but that's going to bring out the 5th caution for tonight. We should be, I think, 4 laps to go by the time we get rolling back again, so we will be 1 lap shy of the first green-white checkered attempt. Actually, we have 2 laps shy. It'd be 2 to go. So 2 laps shy of the first green-white checkered attempt, so it'll be a green-white checkered. But yeah, we'll take a quick break here. We're going to step aside. Figure out what commercial we're going to play again. We'll go back to Whiplash. Yeah, they've had a chance to go through quite a few commercials for tonight, but we're going to hopefully play the last one here and hear from, once again, Whiplash SimCams. Alrighty, so we'll be getting rolling again with 4 laps to go. Lights are off on the pace car. Cody Nagels is back in the front row, but he will not be the control car on this restart. That's going to go to Dude Conrad here, who has the lead. He's got Justin Davis behind him, then Joshua Highbaugh third in line in the inside, Cody Nagels in the outside with the 94 of Maxwell Caldwell and the 88 of Gabe Butler. And we're going to have 4 laps to decide who is going to come home victorious for this second race of the season.
Yeah, the 16 sitting out there on the outside lane in the same spot he was actually in on Friday. Didn't get the finish he wanted, but man, he's had a really good start to this season in the Friday and this series here on Sunday night. Somebody to keep his eye on, and then you can't count out that 88. He's creeped his way right back up there when the time matters. Is a really, really good start there by Dude. Oh, we're going to have a spin right here on the start. This is going to collect a lot of guys here.
Bunch of cars involved in this one here, as there's a parking lot in the front. Hoods are flying everywhere, and yeah, quite a few cars involved. Yeah, that was a big moment there.
Yeah, definitely. I seen right off the beginning there that was not a start that inside lane one is. We can see some guys here. The 8 gets a really, really good jump. Not the best starts there by the 10, but as we sit back here, I think it's going to be the same thing. Some guys just shifting through the gears, not quick enough, or maybe over shifts. And as we see here, it looks like somebody is maybe not going to get up to speed as quickly as the guy behind him.
Yeah, you kind of see that outside lane starting to check up a little bit there. 00, see if we can zoom out a little bit more. Oh, it actually happened quite a bit further up. Okay. So we will focus on the 101 of Joshua Highbaugh and see if we can understand. Yeah, so Joshua Highbaugh from the inside lane made contact with the 071 of Eric Laurie. It looks like that started off this incident here. So we're rolling through the restart zone, and we should be back up to the gas pedal here. You see the 8 and the 16 take off. And then the 10 just doesn't really get a good start, and by then you see the 101 kind of gets into the back of him, and just, I don't know if he's just kind of weirdly getting a little loose, and then you see the contact there with the 071, so the 08 is involved, the 13, the 24, and the 49 get tagged, the 00 barely makes it through, 51, 52 piling in, the 71 piling in, and yeah, that's a big incident for quite a few drivers there.
Yeah, unfortunate, man, and tough break, man. The 071 has had some good runs, and not just this season, but going back into last season too, has just had some unfortunate runs. Just nothing he can do, just wrong place. And I've been there where the 10 was, or those guys, and that leader gets up in front of you, and you don't want to run the leader over, and then you check up, and then you get back in it. And especially here, with the banking, it's not flat, and you can what I like to call bust your butt really quick. And how about we get back to another commercial, and as these guys come back around for a green white checkered.
Yeah, it'll be the first attempt at a green white checkered, and we'll hear once again from our friends at 40raceware.com.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40raceware.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Alrighty, we have 2x2 once again. It'll be the first attempt at a green-white checkered. Brandon, who you got here? Who you got your money on in these final couple laps?
Man, you got to put your money on where the guy that's been hot, man, and it's the 16. That car is about 4 lanes wide. Is that Chevy Camaro? It's got that new classy. They brought out a special car just for Cody. They make it go all over the track, so it's hard, man, not to bet on him. But you look, how do you not put your money on the 88? Also, as good as he's been over the seasons here with Area 51. But if I had to throw the money, it's the 16. What you thinking, Boom?
I think I'm picking that 8 of Dude Conrad right there because I think he is in a really good spot. Obviously, the 16 has a very strong pusher behind him in the 94, Maxwell Caldwell, but the 8 has probably arguably one of the best pushers in the league behind him in Gabe Butler. And no offense to Maxwell Caldwell, but the other advantage is that the 24 is behind the 88 as well. And oh yeah, the 8, the 88, the 24 all happen to be teammates and are looking forward to trying to get back into the win column here in 2025. And I think they're going to have an opportunity to stick with that 8 and push him to victory lane. But we will have to wait and see. The first attempt at a green-white checkered. Cody Nagels, the control car. The 8 of Dude Conrad to his outside. Up through the gearboxes they go. Back on the gas. Green flag once again.
Yeah, another good start there by that 16, and I like how he's been having those aggressive starts, and this really gives you the momentum as somebody is there on that outside. I think they were getting maybe a wave around there, hopefully, but I really like that start there by the 16. He's been able to get out there and get that front. That really lets him control if he's going to take the outside, but those guys on that outside lane being in the same chat, teammates, they've stuck really, really good together, and that's gave him the opportunity maybe, for both cars to clear. They're not, as only the 8's going to clear, and that's going to really give those guys control of both lanes as we come to 1 to go. As it's the 16, a little bit of a checkup there instead of running over the 8. Hey, we know we're going to have 1 lap here to go. Boom, these guys are going to have to be smart here.
16's pushing really hard. He knows that the 8 is in his way, and he wants to get back to the front of this one. Team Bootnock doing everything that they can do to control this race here. They're going to wreck further on back. The 24 gets spun. It's going to stay green flag at the front there, and we're going to race it back to the line because we got to the white flag. The 88 stays on the rear quarter panel of the 94. Does the 16 make a move to the outside, or does he stay connected to the 8? And if so, when does he make the move? Coming through turns 3 and 4 now.
Yeah, I like this move by the 16. Get the 8 out there as far as away as you can. Maybe you got the 94. Here you go. Make your move here. Make the 8 try to block you as the 94. Sears going to hear it. The 8's going to... who's going to pull it off? The 8 had to block the inside and the outside. It's going to be close. Boom.
A 3-wide finish as the 16 takes the run to the outside ahead of the 8 of Dude Conrad. Maxwell Caldwell throws his name in there, and he's going to go 3 wide, but going to finish third as Cody Nagels comes home victorious once again here on Sunday nights.
Yeah, I was going to let you make that call, Boom. I've been caught here by iRacing before, a couple of things showing different times, and man, iRacing showing them all under a blanket at the finish line. I don't know if we can get back to that finish, but it looks like Cody Nagels is going to keep the streak hot and go 2 for 2 here on Sunday nights, and man, that 16 has had it here together.
Yeah, let's see. So this is the coming to the checkered flag here. Try and see if we can see. So this is slow-mo here. The 8, obviously we saw the 16 making the move to the high side. He was taking the run that he had. Gabe Butler had a run, and then the 94 jumps down in front of him and gets the shove from him. And then the 8 goes down to block, and when he does that, it's enough for the 16 to get around him, and it's not enough for the 94 to get around the 8, and that is how they finish.
And that's how you execute it too. You wait, as he did that perfectly. He looked in his mirror, seeing what was around. You push that 8 as long as you can. Don't make your move too early. got it right there coming off of 4, and then knowing that the 94 is going to try to make a run for it also, you're stuck in such a tight position there in the 8. Who do you block? Who do you go with? No teammate except for a couple rows back, but shout out to the 16 for capitalizing as we see the race results here.
Yeah, Cody Nagels comes home victorious once again. Dude Connor had a very solid effort for him tonight. He's going to come home 14 thousandths of a second behind our leader. 21 thousandths back is Maxwell Caldwell. Gabe Butler is 68 thousandths back, and that was the race for the lead. At the stripe, Justin Davis comes home in the 5th position. Chris Melton there, a solid night up at the front all night long. Guile Brooks, a great recovery for that 71 after an up and down night involved in a couple incidents, none of his own doing. Mike Allen there, good recovery for him as well. He's going to come home in the 8th position. Joshua Highbaugh and Bob Fitzgerald round out the top 10. Everett Lane, with more bad luck, just gets caught up in the incident on that final lap and unfortunately has to lose a lot of momentum. And then him and Jack Walls also coming home to the checkered flag off the pace. So Gary Huffines is going to be the first car 1 lap down. So is Dale Rapp, and then Eric Laurie, the first car 2 laps down there. Doug Webb in the 714 will finish 16th. Frank Ranger Jr. 17th in the 17. Started in that spot, finished in that spot. Jim Brooks is going to come home in the 18th position there. And we keep moving through the field. 19th was Todd Merkel, had a really good run at the front for a while there. Unfortunately caught up in some of the chaos, and he is going to have to come home in the 19th position. Robert Amaral had a very up and down night. A lot of incidents. I don't think most not of his own doing, but involved in a few there, and obviously bringing out the last caution of the night. And he's going to have to settle for a 3-lap down finish. Hayden Davis also involved in a few incidents there. Going to come home 5 laps down. Then Anthony Lane definitely had a night that he'd probably like to forget from some incidents down pit road and incidents on track, and definitely a tough night to finish 22 laps down. Thomas Holder as well, not the night that he was probably hoping for. We see Dean Wilkinson retired early, as well as Bill Hales 37 laps down in 25th position. So with that, it's time to bring up our interviewees. And this first one here is definitely no stranger to this process here in the booth. So why don't you take it away, Maxwell? Let's hear from your perspective how you came to that 3rd place finish tonight.
Execution. So all I got here on Sunday nights is Todd. So me and him are just running this kind of 2-car team. And we were just trying to ride around, save fuel, let a lap when I could. And I think you noted we got real fortunate on a couple of those cautions where I'd pit and be on pit road when the yellow come out. That was just insane. But no matter what, I knew passing was easy here, so I would still pit just to make sure I had plenty of fuel and tires, really. Not that the tires wore much, but just where you didn't slip and slide too much at the end. And then right there at the end, just kind of biding my time. Got a couple of those yellows, and then that last restart, 16 asked me to get tight on him off 4. He said us versus Boot Knocker, and I said 10-4. Love those Boot Knocker guys, but they dominate too much. So when you get someone else that can beat them, it's a big deal. So pushed him, and then him and Dude got in a fierce battle off of 4, slowed themselves way up. And so I was able to sneak in there and almost get that win. They kind of didn't realize they were leaving that door open, and Dude went to cover a little too late. But if I had just a couple more feet, I think I could have got it.
Yeah, and some big moves and some big calls, tonight to put you in those situations when, it just happened to be sometimes the caution came out and you made the moves to come to pit road when you did. So when it was those times, was it, we're going to run it to the end and just come when we have to and hope for, the chaos to happen on pit road, or what was your strategy tonight? We talked to everybody with the chaos coming and getting off of pit road.
It was a little bit of both, maybe. So a little bit of, it's going to be chaotic when 10 cars try to come down and follow what Gabe Butler's doing, because I know how this works. The monkey see, monkey do, right? They're going to try to follow what he's doing, knowing he's good at it. And when you get that much congestion, sometimes you also slow your entry down into pit road and maybe kind of go slower down pit road trying to get in line. And so I had been saving fuel in the pack, knowing that after after our second yellow, that there was a possibility of a two-stopper. I was like, I want to stretch every tank I got just to see if it was possible. It was going to be really close. But you never know, right? You'd rather have more than less and be on that offense toward the end. So um, ended up staying out for those reasons. And the first time the yellow came out, I was like, oh, neat. I'm going to pit again, but cool. This would get me a couple laps sled. And then the second time, I really debated staying out, but I had set my fuel to only give me 2 laps to the good. And I knew if I was leading the pack, it would probably burn more than I had been. And it would probably read a little different. It would have put my fuel really close. So I went ahead and topped off where there was no risk of it, put 4 tires on that bad boy to where I could be full-blown offense. And seemed to work out. It got us up there, and a couple really good timed restarts got us where we are, and we're able to pull this top 3 out tonight.
Yeah, definitely a very solid finish for you tonight. Obviously working with Todd Merkel there. Got Merkel on the car as well. So definitely excited to see you back a little more. Obviously, pretty good start to the season. My memory's not great. Can't remember exactly how last week went for you, but with
not good.
Not good. Yes. Okay. So so it evens out then.
All the gone. But I got a P12 when they wadded it up in 3.
All right. Well, so then, at 12th place and a 3rd place finish. Not a bad spot to be in for points for the season.
I should be 1 point ahead of Gabe Butler. That's what I'm gauging off of.
All right.
We were tied after last week.
I know you talked about potentially not running the full season, but does that change anything for you?
Possibly. Really having fun with it too. Back in the day when I run this was kind of one of my main leagues. Took it really serious and won a couple. I think I won races. I don't know if I think one season I won a championship when they were running kind of all across the map, not just super speedways. We were running all the tracks. I think I won one season of that on Thursday nights when they ran that way back in the day. But the super speedway thing's always been a challenge. I love it and I run well, but I'm typically that guy that'll be leading on a last lap and get wadded up in turn 3 and 4. So that's typically the mantra when I'm in Area 51. But tonight went really solid. Pretty sure we finished with a 0X, and that's a pretty big deal here. But yeah, no, we're going to try to run as much of the season as possible, really to just help Todd out. He was able to sponsor me to get in here. He wanted to bring me back after a long hiatus, and it took Todd pulling me in, but it's glad to be back. It's glad to see a lot of these guys that used to run all the time still running. My buddy Dude, got to give him a hard time. Great second place for him. Everett, you got Jack Walls, Eric Laurie, just Jim Brooks, Todd, all the guys here. So it's kind of like a little homecoming. It's been fun. And you guys up in the booth, getting to do this with you some and leading some of the broadcasts before. I know exactly how it is. And I got to say, you probably didn't have a hard time calling this one. It looked like some action all night long. So.
Yeah, definitely a lot of action, and as you're aware, obviously now it's time for us to roll that red carpet out and give you that opportunity for any thanks or shout-outs for that 3rd place finish tonight, Maxwell.
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, he's blessed me so much to have the opportunity just to race with different people, to be welcomed even back into the league, and be able to run with everyone again. It's been great. So praise God for just his blessings, and got to thank my sponsor, Merkel Racing Engines. Like I said, Todd sponsored me to get in, so he's on the car, and just a great guy. He likes to have fun, and I'm glad I can come help make his Sunday nights a little better. He didn't have he had one of them little glitches tonight where he got black flagged on an entry to pit road when someone should have caught up, but it told them to stay behind someone else, all that mess. So he kind of got hosed a little bit tonight. But outside of that, he was running top 5 all night long. I mean, give props to him for that. That's huge for him. And then just thankful for Area 51 for putting this on and still running. It's nice to see numbers are still pretty strong after all the seasons. You know, when you run Super Speedway series over and over and over and over, sometimes you worry about numbers dropping off, but solid count for iRacing Super Speedway. So I believe it was 25 cars maybe that took the green, maybe 26.
Yep.
So it was great to see that. And then just thankful for you guys up in the booth at Green White Checker TV. Gael's got some really great guys running this, and I've seen some of the updates y'all got. Your caution screen's real fancy now, playing videos. I wouldn't know how to do that. I'd have to be trained on that, but y'all are doing a great job. And Boomer, I do have to remind you of one thing.
No.
who the real 94 is. So
I knew
you
you
knew
were
it
gonna
was
say it.
coming.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're gonna cut you off there. We got to get to a few other interviews there, Maxwell. But good to see you back. Good to see you running up front and having a good showing for tonight. So hope to talk to you again very soon, buddy.
Hey, maybe next week will be 2 places better. But congrats to Cody, by the way. I didn't shout him out. He did a great job tonight. 2 in a row. That's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Maxwell, and yeah, good luck the rest of the season. Hopefully, see you running it all. So, yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, next is going to be the 8 of Dude Conrad, and yeah, I'll be honest, dude. I kind of thought when we went back green, especially after that final restart there, that you'd be in a really good spot, just from the standpoint of you got two teammates behind you, and I know that their MO is typically to stick with you and help you out. And unfortunately, some of that fell apart. Obviously, the 24 getting booted out of line there, but still a really great run for you guys to the finish, and a really good second place finish for you. So please take us through how you got there.
Well, first off, Maxwell talks way too much. You're too nice, Boomer. Tell him to shut up. No, it's good to have him back. It's good to be back. No, at the beginning of the race, I started out late and went the lap down real early. Got a lucky dog, and I ghosted through a wreck there, and something happened to the front of that car. It would not turn in. Third car behind, I think it was Jack and Dave. I could not stay on them for nothing, and I didn't realize that it was affecting the car till late in the race, and took that quick repair and it went straight to the front.
Yeah, it was definitely a chaotic race. A lot of stuff going on, and when you're coming off of turn 4, you know that Cody's gonna make his move. Do you feel like with this early in the season, a second place or a third place is better than a wadded up race car, or are you thinking I'm gonna block at all cost here?
I can't. I mean, Maxwell was coming. I didn't see him was coming that fast, and I thought I had Cody up against the wall, and if I'd have had to, he'd have ate it. But I just didn't see the point of it. You know, blocking both of them or trying to get it. No, to say I'm happy with second.
Yeah, definitely seemed like you guys had a good opportunity there at the end. Obviously, a really great battle with Cody there at the end. Were you thinking that you were going to have enough momentum to have him cleared when he made his move as late as he did, or were you, obviously very happy with second place, but were you kind of thinking off of turn 4 that you had a pretty good opportunity?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I was hoping to time it right where I didn't have to block him to where it put me in a bind, saving the car, and I had it. And then Maxwell he's like a bullet come up there, and I tried to late dodge him. That took some momentum away, and it was close there at the line. And then Gabe got to us right at the end. I think it actually helped us get second.
Yeah,
Maxwell, he should have been. He was too busy talking. God.
Yeah, probably. We almost had to cut him off there in his interviews. Definitely.
You should have.
Yeah. He said he was going to give you a hard time for second place. He said it was good to see you back too. So, yeah. But well, I think time for that red carpet rollout. Any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give for that second place finish here tonight, dude?
I just love running with the team we got. Can't thank them enough. Gabe and all them guys, man. Everybody's got their purpose there, and I couldn't name you a better team that I'd like to be on. Thank you, Boomer. Thank Mr. Logan there, and Gael for all the work he puts in it. God, all them guys. Charles, I love this league.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun here, and definitely good to see you back. Hopefully see you in the car more often now on Sunday nights. Obviously, pretty solid start to the season for you here, but always a pleasure talking to you, and hope to talk to you again very soon.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, that will do it for second place interview, which means we've just got one more left, and that is the 16 of Cody Nagels. We've definitely talked to you quite a bit in the last 2 weeks, both on Fridays and on Sundays. Didn't quite get the 3 in a row on Friday night, but going back to back on both Sunday races to start out the season, Cody, it's got to be a good feeling to come home with 2 checkered flags this early in the season.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, iRacing Speedway's always been one. I really don't run it a lot, so to me, it's one because of that. I don't really. It's been months, probably been every bit of 6 months, if not closer to a year, since I raced this weekend. One kind of felt like I was so close, but yet so far away on Friday, and then felt good to come back and get the win tonight.
Man, yeah, and I think domination so far would be wouldn't even be stretching it. I think after this race you're up to close to 19 or 20 point lead. How do you stay focused with the group and the talent that is in this league? How do you keep your foot on the pedal and not let up or not get too comfortable with how this season has started? As we know how crazy these races can get.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just like to race each race, not think about any of the previous races or anything. Like I just treat it as a one-off race. I mean, it's a little different later in the season if you're running a championship, but this early in the season, I try to go in there with the same mentality and stay up front, lead as many laps as I can. If I'm up there, usually I'm able to stay out of the wrecks, and I think I was able to do that pretty well tonight.
Yeah,
They're coming to the end. It was a matter of pushing dude out as far as I could because I knew the second I pulled out on it that everything was going to start going crazy because people were going to be scattering to try to get to the line first. So I had to make the move as late as I possibly.
Yeah, it seemed like you timed that nearly perfectly, and obviously, Dude mentioned in his interview that he was kind of expecting it to come there, but you had a pretty good timed move and was just enough to get you to the finish line. But I want to take us back to the final restart there. Obviously, you've got Dude with Gabe Butler and then the 24 Everett Lane lined up in the outside. Did you have any concerns, and especially as like the 8 pulled down in front of you at one point. Do you have any concerns with all those teammates being lined up there in that outside lane, or were you pretty confident in your abilities with the 94 pushing behind you?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. When dude dropped down in front of me, I was kind of conceding and hoping to get P3 at that point. I was pretty well boxed in, and I knew Everett was going to give Gabe a good push, and I probably wasn't going to be able to wiggle clear. And even if I did wiggle clear, they were just going to split me and go through. So I didn't want to do too much. Then it looked like there was a wreck behind me, and when it did, kind of gave me a second life or a second chance at winning the race or having a shot at it. So I really wasn't gonna do too much or do anything that was gonna get dude wrecked. I would have been fine just pushing dude to the win, but like I said, when opportunity knocks, you go for it. Everyone was kind of separated a little bit, so it gave me a chance to push dude out there and try to duel with him for the win.
Well, you did a pretty solid job there, obviously battling with some of the best in the league and coming out victorious. So definitely want to say congratulations for the second win of the season here, and want to roll out that red carpet now for any thanks or shoutouts you'd like to give for that victory tonight.
Yeah, of course, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting at Green White Checker TV. Everyone at Area 51. Charles puts on a great league. All the drivers for a spectacular race. Not Area 51. iRacing Superspeedway is a pretty tough one. Tricky. I think tonight we've seen a lot of the bugs and stuff. It's tricky compared to what we normally do, so I'll be glad to get back to what a lot of us are used to. Nightmare Esports, my team outside of Area 51, and then tonight I ran. I ran with Bob Fitzgerald. I hopped in Discord with him and Dean tonight, and appreciate them guys running. I wish Dean could have stayed on the lead lap and maybe had a better chance at a good finish, but appreciate them guys for allowing me to run.
Oh, I appreciate having you around as well, and looking forward to seeing you continue this blistering pace that you've set for the beginning of the season, Cody. But congratulations once again, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so that will conclude the activities for tonight. We do want to remind you before we hop off here what the schedule looks like in the upcoming weeks. Next week on June 29th, we will be at Daytona International Speedway, getting back to the bread and butter Superspeedways racetracks, as Cody kind of alluded to there. So Daytona on the 29th. Obviously, we'll be taking the week off for the July 4th holiday and the holiday weekend after that. So we'll be back on July 13th at Atlanta. And same schedule, just 2 days earlier for the Friday night series. So on the 27th, we'll be at Daytona. Obviously, that following Friday is the 4th, so Atlanta will be July 11th. That'll be the 4th race of the season. So yeah, plenty of action here on Sundays and now Fridays. And we'll take a quick peek at the IndyCar series, as they should be getting back going here pretty soon. Yeah, so they started this past week, so their second race of the season is actually going to be Texas on June 24th. And then they are going to be live on July 1st as well. So they will be, obviously on Tuesdays, a little ahead of the 4th holiday. So they're going to get that race in at Pocono on the 1st, and they're going to continue on. So IndyCar's on Tuesday nights with Gael. And yeah, we'll keep mixing it up here on Sunday nights and Friday nights with me in the booth, Boomer Logan, and Brandon. Brandon, any final thoughts as we sign off here?
Not much, except for our veterans that's been in this league before. It's odd to see them starting the way they have this year, and it's going to be very interesting to see if those guys can get it turned around and give Cody a run for his money, because right now it seems like he's going to be in contact with Frank Ranger if he keeps this up.
Well, Cody's definitely had a pretty solid start to his season, and we'll have to see how that progresses for him. But definitely going to be one of the early front runners here at both the Sunday and Friday night series for the Superspeedway stuff. So lots of fun to watch, and a really great race from tonight, especially really at the finish there. Some great action, so plenty of chaos in there as well. But yeah, for again, for myself, Boomer Logan, for my teammate Brandon Briggs, we are gonna sign off, and we'll say have a great week, and we'll catch you in the next one.